Where is John Parrot? I think he's gone all arty on us, haven't you, John?
Yes, up here in the foyer with renowned artist Tom Walker. Hello, Tom. How are you? Now, we've seen some wonderful images. Why snooker, Tom?
Well, snooker is just one of my obsessions, and if I get obsessed by something, I like playing it. I play very badly, but I love watching it. If I get obsessed with something, then I like to try and convert it into pictures, you might say. So that's what I'm doing here, and it's a combination of an obsession with image making and an obsession with snooker.
Inspiration, where's that coming from?
Well, partly from the game, of course, and the balls, and the arrangement of the balls on the table, and what you can supplement the balls with, which is endless, in fact, and then all sorts of little bits of well-meaning anarchy in there as well.
Now, you're doing something for us here this week. We can just sidle along here. You've made a start on this one, and we'll be coming back to you over the 17 days of the Crucible Theatre. Can you give us a little guideline as to what's going on here?
Yes, well, this, I know it's very small at the moment, but this is the beginning of a 7-part epic, including a kind of anarchic history of snooker and ball games and balls, and an anarchic history of Sheffield. Anybody who's interested in facts should not watch this picture progressing. But it's a sort of all sorts of hidden things going on as well, which will be revealed in due course. However, stage 1, this is the Big Bang. I know it's very little, but it's more like a soft click, if you like. But this is the Big Bang, so it's the birth of everything.
Okay.
Out of this black hole. And what emerges, of course, is the spectrum colours, and the spectrum colours, which you can loosely correlate to snooker colours, make white if you combine them all together.
Okay, Tom, well, we've got to cut that a little bit short. We're going to be coming back every day just to have a look how it's going on and progressing. But am I right in thinking Steve Davis actually came down and bought 3 paintings off you, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Well, you are actually very unique, sir, because there's a rumour going around that the 4th Indiana Jones film is actually the quest for Steve Davis's wallet. So you've done very well there.
Now we have an artist in residence here at the Crucible over the course of the championship. It's Tom Walker. He's going to create a snooker masterpiece over the course of the tournament. He's with John.
And here we are on the upper foyer with our resident artist Tom Walker, who's famed for his snooker-based images. And Tom, what's happening so far?
Well, John, we had the Big Bang yesterday, or the Small Bang, and the universe is made of loads of balls, basically. And the earliest settlement in Sheffield was where the Don and the Sheaf rivers meet. It's just about here where the Crucible is.
Right.
And when they excavated for the foundations of the Crucible, they discovered this burial chamber with 15 pots. And of course, 16 pots if you count this pink one. And history is just littered with pots. So this history is all about pots. The Brigantes and their queen, Cartimandua, were the first people in the Iron Age, and this was their burial chamber.
Right. Any more inspiration as you go along? Because you don't always stick to a set pattern, do you?
No, I don't, and I'm keeping my options open. But if you can just home in very quickly on this black ball here, you'll see a little figure in there, and her name is Sybil. All will become clear in the very near future.
Right. Very, very interesting, Tom. And we'll be catching up with you later in the week, and we're coming back and seeing how your progress is. We're going to actually pop along. It's nice to see you, Tom. We're going to like this.
Now, Peter and Mark have gone out of the auditorium for just a few moments, so in the meantime we can take a quick catch-up on the progress of our artist in residence, Tom Walker, who's been creating his snooker masterpiece since Sunday. How's it looking now, Tom?
Well, I'm now 5 days into this epic project, and let's recap just briefly. From the original concept of the Big Bang, from which everything was born, billions and billions of balls included, it's also the mouth of a cave with a lady called Sybil standing inside it. More of her later. Then below that we have the burial chamber of the Iron Age tribe called the Brigantes and their queen with the pink urn. And that was discovered underneath the Crucible Theatre when they built the building. And I've now put the Crucible Theatre back on top of it. Here is the Crucible Theatre, the screen outside. And what's going to happen is that this crucible because you've got the vessel which holds the molten metal in it. The great melting pot is going to pour out its contents into Tudor Square below. Lyceum Theatre, the Ruskin, there it is.
Right, let's take a quick check on a snooker masterpiece. It's a work in progress from artist Tom Walker. John's nipped upstairs to have a look.
Well, back here on the main foyer with our resident artist Tom Walker. Pleased to see you again, Tom. Missed you for a few days, haven't we?
Yeah, I missed you.
How's it going?
It's coming all right, I think, yes. Beginning to rebuild Tudor Square here.
Ah, right.
So on this side we have a kind of fantasy, which is based on reality. Here's Ruskin's, here's the old monk, with some snookerizations going on, including an alien visit and a gentleman who's just dropped off from the saucer.
And this side?
And then if we come on to this side, we come on to the more factual side. Here's the big screen outside the Crucible, the Lyceum Theatre. And as we go across here, not many people notice probably that you've got the D and the triangle in the design in the real theatre. And here it is emerging into the snooker table. If you take it a bit further, anybody recognise that? Napoleon.
Ah.
This is Napoleon. And if you look in the square, you'll see him quite clearly there. And the reason I put him in is because when Sheffield was at its height as a crucible steel producer in Napoleonic times, or it was the greatest steel producer then, Napoleon offered a huge cash reward to anybody of his allies who could make steel as good as Sheffield.
Right. Now, snooker players are quite critical of their own performances. Are you very happy with what you've done so far, Tom?
Very happy would be pushing it. I would say fairly happy.
Right.
Fairly happy, yes.
And as you're going along, are things changing, or are they just coming to you as you go along, or is it a set plan?
They're changing. Napoleon was never in the picture before.
Right.
So he's crept in. He's like a sort of kind of French spy, I suppose.
Well, we're going to leave you to do your hard work. Thank you very much
Thank you,
again.
JP.
Nice to see you, and we'll be along in a couple of days' time.
Right.
Excellent. Doing really well so far.
But first, just outside the Crucible Theatre where the spectators gather, artist Tom Walker is producing a Crucible masterpiece. John's going to find out how things have been progressing.
Well, Tom, it's making progress, isn't it? You happy?
Yeah, I think it's coming on all right. We've entered the royal phase now. Let's have a look at it. Up here in the Lyceum, they're putting on a production of a tragedy of Mary Queen of Scots. In fact, Mary Queen of Pots, because, little known to many, she owned a billiard table and played billiards in prison, spent most of her life in prison. But about a week before she was beheaded, they took it away. And so she didn't even have that solace in her last few days. Hence this Tudor, I hope it looks Tudor or Stuart, cart, horse and cart, taking it away.
What about here?
Well, if we come down here, we come down to what you might call a larger figure in most proportions. This is Henry the 888.com, the digital king, so called because he ate and ate and ate with his fingers. And he was persuaded by his courtiers to come to Sheffield to learn to use a knife and fork. And if we sort of move up a bit from him, you see he's got the world on his head.
And who's that?
We're going into the Q zone, and that is you, JP. That's you.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Steve and Hazel.
Thank you very much. We'll catch up with you in the next couple of days. It's coming on absolutely brilliant. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.